Empire, the largest empire and known history of the humankind. And in this episode, we are going to talk about a bit of the Korean history, the Joseon Dynasty. My name is Shen, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later. Alright, why don't we start by looking at some notes. Let me write Joseon Dynasty and with Korean. Okay, now that you saw my note, let's get started on the Joseon Dynasty. But we don't have to start at the story of the Joseon Dynasty. Actually, we have to. We have to start on the Goryeo-Shide Dynasty, or the Goryeo Dynasty, or the Korean Dynasty. Just choose whatever you want. I'm going for the Goryeo Dynasty. So there's this general named Lee Seong-ge who lived during the Goryeo Dynasty. The king of the Goryeo Dynasty told Lee Seong-ge, actually he demanded him to attack China. Instead of attacking China, Lee Seong-ge allied with China and attacked Korea. Traitors. That's why I don't like him. And he made himself king in 1392. Can you see it? Yes. So let's say bye-bye to the Goryeo-Shide or the Goryeo Dynasty, and it changed to the Joseon-Shide Dynasty. Joseon-Shide is the same as the Joseon Dynasty. Alright, so Lee Seong-ge became the first emperor of the Joseon Dynasty, and now what? Well, let's just skip some of the boring parts of Lee Seong-ge's rule, but here's one important thing about Lee Seong-ge's rule. Even though he allied with the Chinese, they couldn't even get back their Korean cultural life like in the Korean Dynasty. They had to go with the Chinese Dynasty, use their characters, and also they have to do some kind of religions that are based on them. Before the Joseon Dynasty, they had Buddhism, but now they needed some Confucianism. That's a real world. Oh yeah, on the fourth emperor's rule, which is King Sejong, Sejong Daewang, he did a lot of many reforms that people liked. He was very scientific, wise, and a bit powerful, even when he was a prince. Even though he was not the oldest son of the previous emperor, he became emperor. He had a very good understanding of science and technology. And he hired a lot of servants, which we're going to cover up later. Alright, so here's the now part of Sejong Daewang. I mean King Sejong's reign. During his reign, there was this kind of based on system. If you remember our Middle Ages video, you might remember the feudalism system. Well, this is kind of like it. Let me write that down. Wait, is this black or brown? Well, let's just do it. Feudalism system. And this is where, like, you might have guessed the kinds of ups and downs come from. So on the bottom level, I'll just use black. On the bottom level, we have the servants or slaves. On the second level, we got the common people. And the second level, we have the scholars or courtiers. And as you guessed it, on the top equilateral triangle, we've got the kings. I'll just write the Korean first and the English. Yep. Yangban is for the scholars and courtiers. The Pyeongmin is for the common people, like me or you, or if you're a billionaire, I'm still saying you. Alright, so we talked about feudalism, and now Alright, so let's talk about the servant stuff. There was this kind of servant called... No. Here, first we have to say about the Korean writing system, Hangul. King Sejong invented it in 1444. What should I use? Oh, let's go for this color. 1444. He invented Hangul. You can just say it as Hangul if you're an English person. Right, so he made Hangul, and the scholars, the Yangbuns, didn't like it because they said it was the writing system for kids because it only took a few days instead of a few years to learn. And a lot of people became literate because of Hangul. Oh yeah, and just to make sure that everyone, including his scholars and Koreans, use it, he made a document called Hunminjeongeum. I once wrote the preface of the Hunminjeongeum before when I was a bit younger. Right, so Hunminjeongeum is a kind of document that tells why Hangul is useful and how it can help change the empire. Also, another reason why the scholars and courtiers say they shouldn't use it is that they thought it will be using against Chinese culture and it will start war between China and Korea. But that didn't happen. They were wrong. The Chinese kind of forgot about them, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Hanyang. Alright, so there's this capital city called Hanyang. We're in Hanyang now, but you might know it as Seoul. Seoul, we're in it right now, has a palace called the Gyeongbokgung. Me and my cousin have once went there, and it was very cool. With the snow with extra flavor. Good joke, Sean. Alright, so the palace stuff is where Hangul was invented, and then there was this guy named Jang Young-sil. Jang Young-sil was a guy, but he was from the servants and slaves. So when he was invited to the king's court, a lot of the courtiers and scholars complained because he was dirty and stuff, and he needed to serve instead of science. But he did invent a lot of important things, including the most advanced cloak of the time. It's kind of complicated. Let me try my best to draw it. Let me try my best. Okay, I have to come down here. So why is this like this? Stuck. Alright, so we're gonna have to use this. So here's the water clock. This is made out of water. And so here's water poured into it. So here's a marble machine. Kind of like a marble machine. A marble falls down here. I'll draw it as this little dot. Goes around here. It goes right down here. Kind of complicated. And then it goes a journey down this place. Let me just draw back here. And then it hits. And then it goes through these ventilation things. So some of them are already down, and so it goes to this one. This lever goes down, and the marble drops down to the ground. And that, how many marbles tells what time is it? It is. Let me explain this in a simpler way. So here's a water pump. It drops a marble while it got pumping water, the marble goes through a container, it goes through another container, then it goes a long journey along a road, and then it arrives to this kind of places with some kind of levers. The marble hits the first remaining lever, and then the lever goes down, and that tells the time. That's the water clock, and it's water clock. And here's another invention that he made. It's kind of a rain god called Chuk-ugi. Chuk-ugi is a rain god, and it might be the most advanced one in all human history. It's kind of like a stone cylinder on top of stone cuboid. It kind of looks like this, alright? Alright, and that includes all of the things that happened in the inventing stuff. Now let's get into protecting stuff. So let's look at the map. So here's the world map. In this red box, there's Korea, the peninsula, and here's Japan. Right, so there are two main borders that are being attacked, north and the south. The northern part is attacked by the Manchurian nomads. They attack into Manchuria, the King Sejong protects the border, all borders from any invasions. Manchuria is one place. They got attacked, and then the Koreans protect themselves. And in the south border, the Japanese pirates attack the Koreans. So they protect themselves as always, and it says here that they're defeated. Pirates. Alright. That's mostly it. So this is the end of this video, and I'll see you in the writing video. Shunhan out! Okay, let's get into writing. As usual, the topics are: number 1, what did you learn about the Joseon Dynasty? And number 2, what is the writing system of the country and how did it come about? Well, let's start. Number 1, what did you learn about the Joseon Dynasty? Well, I learned that the Joseon Dynasty was started by this king called Lee Sung-ge. He was first a general and then he became king. And the 4th emperor of the Joseon Dynasty was King Sejong, and he invented Hangul. Hangul. He also made a document called the Hunminjeong, which tells us why Hangul is perfect and how it can help Koreans become literate. Alright, number 2, what is the writing system in the country and how did it come about? Well, my writing system is Hangul. And this is Hangul, alright? It's kind of like just lines and circles. And, well, how did it come about is that King Sejong, King Sejong looked at a barrage, a picture in the Gyeongbokgung, which is in Hanyang, which is renamed Seoul. And he saw a Korean letter. Let me write this right here. Why am I always, an? If you're wondering what an is, it's right here. He saw this. He saw this and he had an idea. Eureka! And he started making a Hangul alphabet, and he accomplished in 1444. So that are the answers for questions for today. And if you want to do or write this to me, please put them in the comments below or just email me directly. See you in the extra history video. Oh yeah, I'm peace. Welcome to Extra History. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so today's Extra History is going to be a bit different. Today we're going to talk about how Hangul was reformed and made, and at King Sejong's kindness. Sejong Daewang. Alright, so let's first talk about his kindness. King Sejong, when he became emperor, he was just he was just not old enough to be emperor, as other people would say. And then as King Sejong gradually got knowledge of how to control the Korean nation, he did kindness to a lot of people. For example, he made a library and he allowed servants or peasants or anybody, no matter gender, age, or class, go in there. And then he asked a person who was remaining in the library probably 2 o'clock. Probably 2 o'clock in the night. And so that person said yes, and he went to the library and saw that there was still a peasant man with a candle still flickering. And then he said that peasant man was still reading. And then that peasant man didn't sleep until the fire was out. He slowly closed his eyes and went to sleep. Alright. During the peasant man was sleeping, King Sejong took off his coat and then put it around that peasant man. And when the peasant man woke up, he saw the king's coat on him, and then he said, "Oh, the king must have got worried that I might catch a cold." And then he said happily went to the king, and gave back his coat. Of course, I don't have one. And that was one example of King Sejong's kindness. And now let's get into how he made Hangul. As I said earlier, Hangul was made by looking at some kind of picture with the word an. But this is how it was truly made. After Hangul was discovered on that little painting, King Sejong made a lot of different alphabets, like evolving the an to han and evolving it to nan and a lot of other stuff. He also made these symbols. It's like an a with a o, with a u, with a yo, and bo. If you're Korean, you know what I'm saying. And after the Hangul was established, he showed it to public. The commoners and servants or slaves were very, very liked it. And but the scholars or courtiers were not pleased. They said that Chinese system should be used more frequently, so they would have no wars against China itself, which is kind of like modern day Turkey shaped. But King Sejong wasn't discouraged by this. He just introduced a document called Hunminjeong, so to explain how Hangul was made and how it can be used around the world, or just the Koreans, so it can be literate. Right, that's almost it. But here's one more in establishing amazing thing. After Hangul was introduced to the public, the scholars or courtiers really gradually, slowly got used to it. And then suddenly, scholars and courtiers started using them too. Even peasants began to use them. And then gradually, after King Sejong's death in modern day, people made a museum about him. And well, the little inventor named Chang Yong-sil. Some of Chang Yong-sil's inventions are on the one money, but that is another story. So I'll see you next time. Shinhan out. Alright, my name in Korean is... Oh no, I want green. Han Xian. Han Xi-han. This is my name. Voila! See you next time. This video was made by me. It was sponsored by me. The script was written by me. The talking was by me, of course. These nice letters and picture, which is Hangul, is written by me. And also, to support my channel, you just have to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and also hit the bell button to all so you wouldn't miss any of my videos. And that's how you could support my channel and keep my videos free for everyone. With Han Chen, my channel, I could make a lot of videos for my whole lifetime, probably. And also, if I do ask a question, please answer them in the comments below, or just email me directly at 20jor@naver.com. And today's question is, what is the name of the Korean writing system? Is it A, Hangul, B, Chinese, or C, English. I'll see you then. Shinhan out.